Now the other side though, the non-religious side says no. We need prostitutes because they protect the honest women of Amsterdam from what used to be sailors but now stag parties. Like, we don't want them hitting on our wives and daughters. So there's always been two schools of thought. They always never have gotten along. This was the women's prison. It was built during the Golden Age to make happy, to appease the religious side. It was really built by the business people. This thing was totally for show. Now remember I told you guys about Calvinism earlier? That really hard branch of Protestantism? You might have heard the expression, cleanliness is next to godliness. Well, under Calvinism, hard work is what got you into heaven. Like, that's how they rehabilitate your soul. So this was the women's prison, and it was a building called the Spin House. Guess what you did in this house? You spun. You spun wool, and that's how they'd rehabilitate a prostitute's soul. See the girl on this side? She did her spinning, she gets to pet the cat. The girl on this side, not so much, being whipped by the nun. And the phrase in Dutch below, check this out. It says, "Cry not, for my hand is warm, but my heart, my hand is firm, but my heart is warm." You know, like tough love, it's good for you. Yeah, but it's totally for show. Every Friday morning, a couple of Calvinist nuns, with the help of a few police officers, would round up anywhere between 2 and 12 street-walking prostitutes, throw them in cages in the basement, and make them spin wool. And if they didn't, they'd be whipped by the nun. But the worst part of it is religious families would come down here on the weekends to see the girls. Like, you know, the public execution and autopsies. This is the twisted form of Dutch entertainment. They'd come down, spit on the girls, use those bad words, tell your daughter don't grow up to be like her, throw rotten fruits and vegetables. It's a really dark cloud of Dutch history they are not proud of, especially in a tolerant city. Now, it was only open Fridays, Saturdays, with the Jewish people going on. You guys heard of the brown shirts in Nazi Germany? Basically the paramilitary group of the SS. Well, in the Netherlands, we had the NSB, which is the Dutch Nazi Party. And their paramilitary group was called the WAs. Just picture a bunch of Nazi thugs, a little bit older than Hitler Youth groups. Now, they're running around the city, breaking into Jewish businesses, harassing Jewish people, and with no repercussions. And no one likes that kind of stuff anywhere, definitely not in the city of tolerance. So in retaliation for changing the climate of this amazing city, boxing clubs formed. Boxing clubs are big groups of guys, dock workers and sailors, that patrol the streets at night, keep these thugs in check, and hand out free self-defense lessons to anyone that felt threatened all throughout the city. Now, there were literal clashes and street fights back and forth between the boxing clubs and the WA groups for a year, till it all came to a head February 12, 1941. On that day, there was this massive brawl in the middle of Rembrandt Plain. You got all the WA Nazi thug guys, and you got the boxing clubs, Jewish and non-Jewish alike, communists, just all kinds of people that are like, I'm tired of this crap. And today it's going down. And it went down. So bad so the leader of the WA ends up in a coma. This guy, Henry de Koot, was beaten so severely, ends up in a coma. Now, we know the SS spins things. So the next day, they basically said Jewish adults attacked other adults. They labeled it like that. And so the very next day, in retaliation, full-grown men, 34, 35, 36-year-old SS agents, the next day went into an ice cream parlor in the South. An ice cream parlor. And started harassing the guy that ran it and his patrons. Now, Jewish guy, Jewish families. Now, this guy must have known the SS had it out for him. Because how did he just happen to have ammonia gas lying around in an ice cream parlor? Ice cream parlor. The SS comes in, starts shoving adults, making their kids cry, and the guy behind the counter goes, "Not in my shop." And he grabs the ammonia gas and sprays all the SS guys in the face to get them the hell out of the shop. That was strike 2. The next day, that guy, the WA guy, died in his coma. That was strike 3. And now the SS said, we have a full-blown Jewish riot in Amsterdam. Which is laughable. There was 2 isolated instances, but basically we know how that propaganda machine works. Now that guy died on a Friday, so they waited a week. The following Friday, they sealed off the Jewish quarter. You guys remember Jewish Broadway? That weird-looking street? We wouldn't have been able to look down there. Well, actually, we would have. All we would have saw, though, was barbed wire fences and basically people on the other side with the yellow stars. They sealed off the Jewish population on Friday so they could start the deportations on Saturday. Saturday, February 23rd, 1941 is by far and away the darkest day in this city's history. First thing in the morning, 60 SS agents rounded up 200 men. Doesn't matter they were Jewish, just 200 guys. They dragged through the streets of the city. Through the Jewish Quarter, through the Newmarket Square, all the way to Central Station. Not just dragging these guys, no. They felt the need to brutally attack them too. While they're dragging them, truncheons, the boots, the dogs, a disgusting display of brutality the city hadn't seen before, hasn't seen since. And on that Saturday, the 2/3, hoping it's all going to blow over, it's getting a lot harder to plausibly deny what's going on. 200 guys being dragged through the street. That was on Saturday. The very next day on Sunday, the SS wasn't done. They went right back into the Jewish Quarter, rounded up 225 Jewish guys, and just like the day before, just dragged them through the streets and brutally attacked them. But what was different? It was for everyone to see. Sunday's market day. On Saturday, a few people saw it and were like, oh my God, can you believe that's happening? On Sunday, a whole bunch of people saw it and said, no, not in this city, not here. We knew when they arrived in 1940, the Jewish population was in trouble. We knew the writing was on the wall. But for a year, we said yes. All we could do was think of ourselves. Yeah, sure, come on in. As long as you leave me alone, I'll look the other way. I'll even help build your tanks and planes, forced labor. Just leave me alone. Me, me, me. But now, the line is drawn. The line is drawn. Who's that 1/3 collaborating? Who's the 2/3 going to do something? Not for the 425 Jewish guys, no. For the 425 Amsterdammers. It never mattered they were Jewish before. Why does it matter now? It doesn't. We have to start saying no for them, for us, for the city. We have to start saying no to the Nazis. That was on Sunday. The very next day, Monday, February 25th, 1941, the most beautiful day in this city's history, by far and away. First thing in the morning, the banned Communist Party got the no train rolling. They went to the bus drivers and tram drivers and said, hey, if you guys don't go to work, no one else will. And while you're at it, help us put up posters all around the city. Posters that said things like, strike, 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 or stop supporting the Nazi war machine, or one city united as Amsterdammers. No mention of Jewishness in this city for the next 4 years. It's not important. We crossed that line. General strike started with the guys, Amsterdammers. Now, the general strike started small. 10 in the morning, this part of the city, a couple thousand people in the streets. But everyone can tell something's in the air. Public transportation grounded to a halt. That never happens in the Netherlands. There's posters all around. Word of mouth that starts to snowball. Like, hey, what's going on? It's the February strike. Hit the streets. Tell your friends we're striking. Now, they didn't just stop at a couple thousand. The communist